Welcome to the Happiness Happens podcast. I'm Simona Nicole, host of the show, mindset coach, and motivational speaker. I've made it my mission to help you get unstuck, shift your mindset, and understand your worth to help you live your most purposeful life. Each week, I will bring you an idea, guest, or a positive thought that will leave you inspired and empowered to win your life. We decide the stories we tell ourselves and where we invest our energy. I'm so grateful you popped in. Now let's dive in. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode on the Happiness Happens podcast. I am so excited to share this week's episode with you, and I think that this is a really powerful conversation because in this episode, I talk with Tony Chowdhury, and I've had her on my podcast. She's absolutely incredible, and she invited me into her Facebook group. And when we were speaking in her Facebook group, I talked about a lot of different things in terms of mindset, living well, living happily, and I think there are a lot of really golden nuggets in here that you're going to find really helpful and really useful. So I wanted to make sure to share this episode with you here, just in case you didn't get to sneak into her podcast group and listen to it, because I think that there's so much value that will help you shift your mindset and help you live a more happier and on-purpose life every single day. So I really hope that you appreciate this episode as much as I did and the learnings and the outcomes in here. I do get a little bit personal in some of the parts, so I think that comes with growth, that comes with time, and it comes with being able to be at peace with our past. And so I just really hope that you enjoy this week's episode. It starts a little abrupt because we were cut off in recording at the beginning. So with that in mind, let's dive on in. Are we lost? Did we come back? Okay. I don't know where that cut off, but so my podcast started in 2019. And ultimately, the purpose of it was so that people felt like they were not alone in how they were feeling and could understand that what they've gone through is okay, and what they've experienced is okay, and having feelings that, of negativity, being upset, not being happy with where they are in their life, and all of those different things, those are okay to have, and it's completely normal. So all of this started for me in 2018 when I woke up one day and I was so completely miserable. I hated everything about myself. I hated the way that I looked. I hated where I lived. I hated everything. And I know hate is a strong word, but I woke up every day just miserable to roll into the next day. And so I finally said to my fiance one day, I was just complaining. And he looked at me and he said, okay, are you going to do something about this? Or are you just going to continue on? He's like, you need to make a decision. Either you're going to do something about this and you're going to take action, or you're just going to continue complaining. He's like, but either way, I don't want to hear it anymore. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, you're just going to call me out, but okay, no problem. So I sat with that for a little bit. And what happened from there was I started reflecting a lot. And then I started going to see a therapist. And these are all things that I love to talk about because these are things that need to be normalized. That all of your journey is perfect because it's what is meant for you. And we all have the power to shift that when we're ready. And so I started going to therapy and she helped me work through a lot of different things. And I kept coming back to this idea of I want to help more people. I just want to help people. I want people to feel that they can do their life and that they deserve to have that life that they want for themselves. So I started the podcast and I launched it in January 2019. I think I had all of 10 downloads and I was thrilled. I was like, oh my God. I was like, that is 10 people that are going to think differently about their life. And I was just so grateful for those 10 people. And then it grew and then it grew and then it grew and then it grew. So when I first started out, for probably, I think the first 35 episodes or so, I did them all solo. They were all solo episodes. And I would talk about different topics from guilt to grief to fear, limiting stories, limiting beliefs, anything under the sun under that topic. And then I started bringing on my guests and doing one-on-one interviews. And so now I interview leaders in different industries. So you, for one, tons of coaches, entrepreneurs, authors, every single industry, pretty much, dietitians, nutritionists, therapists, all kinds of people. And what I love to do the most is dig into their story. And I'm not scared to ask the questions that people are typically afraid to ask, because my goal and intention with my show always is to provide those very real and authentic conversations and allow people to see that there is always struggle and there's always an excellent end result. You just have to take the action steps to get there. And so I think for me, that has been the biggest part and like the best part of doing my podcast now is having these incredible conversations with like the most amazing people that I've ever met in my life. And just knowing that everyone has a story and everyone's story is valuable and everyone deserves to live a beautiful life however they want to live it. And it doesn't have to look the same for everybody. But yeah, but that's ultimately why I have the podcast now. And I just get to do this every single week and it's amazing. That's it.
That's an incredible story,
Thank you.
Simona. Thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing it with us. And you're right. We have to share our stories. We have to talk about it. And I love that you have you worked through that. You were on that journey, and now you're helping others walk that same path if they have to, and be good with it. So, and we have a comment from Suzanne. She says she agrees. I think you can read it, right?
I can see it. Yeah. That's such a beautiful, beautiful comment, Suzanne. And it's so true.
Exactly.
That can take years and years and years for people to understand that they do have the power to live the life that they want to live. And then it's like, okay, and then a lot of people can get stuck on that. Okay, but how am I going to do that? But it's really getting granular and getting really deep with yourself and understanding what it is that you want out of your life and how do you want to live every day, because not everyone wants to be an entrepreneur, not everybody wants to have a career, not everybody wants to do all these things, but like whatever you want for yourself is perfectly aligned for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I really so I have also I've had my own struggles as well. But do you think it's easy? Like, is it easier for men or for women to talk about their struggles? Have you noticed something along these lines?
Yeah, I think I actually think that it's easier for women to talk about their struggles than men. I think a lot of the times that men have a lot of pressure in terms of, not being strong if they're showing emotion, and, not being understood in the same way. And so I think that's been one of the most rewarding parts of being a coach, is holding space for these men who are just hurting and being able to provide like that that space for them to discover themselves in a no judgment zone. Most people don't really ever get that, you know what I mean? And so I think that it's easier for women just because like women, it's just easier. It's easier. You know what I mean? Nobody is judging you if you're sad one day. It's almost expected that you're going to have emotion. But when it comes to men, it's not expected, And so there's like that weird balance, which I don't agree with. I think that people should be allowed to express all of the emotions that they want or need to. It's just about how do we hold space for people when they need it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's I've always wondered about another thing. So how do people actually realize that they need help? Like, sometimes we just accept that we are sad, and we don't have that self-esteem, we don't have that confidence, etc. Like, what is the point? Like, what should people be looking for? And if I need to ask for help, say for instance, what should I be looking for when I know that, this is when I really need to reach out to somebody who knows more about this than I do, so I can get help?
That's such a good question. I think it can look so different for so many different people. One of the biggest things, though, that I would say is if you're waking up every single day and you're crying and you're upset and you have like anxiety and breakdowns before going to work, for example, or you just have a lot of like resistance to all the different areas of your life. Like if you don't want to go out, and like if you have like blocks towards seeing family or friends, or like all these different things, and if you're feeling like your guard is up all the time, I think those are all really good indicators. But also I think that on the flip side of that too, I think it's all of our responsibility as human beings to extend that kindness and that support to people, because we never know what people are experiencing, and we never know what kind of day somebody has had. We don't know what they've gone through in their day, and we don't know what's going on in their life. And so I think that when we all collectively spread just a little bit of kindness and can just extend that like olive branch just a small bit, people will feel like, oh, I've nobody's cared about me like this before. I wonder why that is. I like this feeling. Like, this is nice. There's so many different strands and ways that can go. But if I think of my clients and how when they come to me, and when they find me, they're just at a point where they don't know what to do anymore, and they're tired of waking up every day miserable, and they're tired of not being able to access their full potential, and they're tired of being in a repetition of things that they're doing every single day, and they're tired of burying their emotions, and they're ready to come to terms with the things that have happened in their life. But I guess what happens is like they don't know how to pull themselves out of this void. And so what ends up happening is when your mindset is controlling so much of your life, if you are a business owner, for example, your business has a very hard time advancing because the belief that you have in yourself isn't conducive to growing your business. You know what I mean? Like, you need to be able to believe in yourself and your ideas and your worthiness as a person to be able to continue on, which was the same thing for your career and the same thing for your relationships. So I really, like, when I'm coaching people, I consider myself as like a whole person coach, because I'm coaching people in every single area of their life. And while that might not be like niche down enough for a lot of people, it's just the reality that I think that everything that you do extends from the person that you are inside. And then from that point on, you can have the incredibly amazing growing business. You can have the career that's thriving and you're getting promotions left, right, and center. You can have the relationship that's like amazing and you're so excited to come home every night. But all of those things stem from beliefs of the past. All of those things stem from a place of worry and fear. And a lot of the time, miscommunication with yourself, miscommunication with the people around. I want to quickly pause this interview and tell you about the Handheld Group coaches that I've had the honor and privilege of bringing onto the Happiness Happens podcast. With every conversation and interview, I've learned something so impactful and so life-changing. Inner You Life is the online coaching course from Handheld Group that gives you the tools to get yourself unstuck, wildly happy, and thriving where it matters most to you. Your relationship to yourself, career, love, body, money, time, and more. From wherever, whenever. Recommended by Hugh Jackman, Dr. Mark Hyman, Forrest Whitaker, Elena Brower, and hundreds more. Taught in MIT, Stanford School of Business, and 50-plus institutes of learning across the world. Visit inneryou.coach and use the code HAPPINESSHAPPENS at checkout for $75 off. Now, back to the episode. Around you. And so there's a lot of stuff to unpack. And so I guess, like, for me, it's like, and this is a little bit off topic of the question that you asked me originally, but, when I'm working with my clients, my favorite part is looking at all of the stuff that's there and slowly picking out every single part. Some of them take longer than others. And then as those different parts get taken out of the box and get worked through, you heal from that. And then once you can heal from that, you have these realizations like, oh my goodness, this is the driving factor to this one specific problem that I'm having. Okay, so now we're going to dive into this specific problem and understand why. And then from that point, you end up doing it again. And it just is like this like chain reaction. And, within 3 months' time, you look back and you're like, oh my God, I'm a completely different person. You have this mindset shift that isn't even something that you could have imagined for yourself at the beginning. You address those fears and those beliefs, and you identify those areas of your life that you want to change, and you take action to your life. And that is the key, is taking the action to support the intention of wanting to shift and have more for your life. And I think that this idea and concept of more is maybe an overused word, if you will. Because a lot of people will be like, oh, yes, I want more in my life. I want more, whatever. But it's more so like you want more because you want the belief in yourself. Does that make any sense? It was a really long-winded answer. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, absolutely. And I love that, you're talking about taking action. And that is something that, and I mean, like you said, it could be a business owner, it could be somebody who doesn't even have a career, who stays at home, takes care of family, right?
Yeah.
And obviously taking that action is important. That's why I was kind of wondering, like, what is it, like, when can people, start to kind of be a little bit more attentive to how they're feeling and reach out for help? And I love that you made those points, because I think people don't often realize that they need to do something about, how they're feeling.
That's it. Because you know what it is, Tony? Like, people, I think, just accept that their life is step and repeat. People just accept that, that, okay, well, I guess I have to go and do this for the next 40 years of my life, or I have to go. And it's like, and I was very much like that too. Like, okay, yeah, this is what we have to do. But it's like, says who? You know what I mean? And at what point do you get to start to believe in the dreams that you have for yourself? Like, what if you like to paint and you just want to do a painting, but you shouldn't do painting on a Friday night because you should go out for dinner?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I love that. I really love that. I love that. So, Simona, you are launching a new program, Happiness Happens Today. I love the title of the program, Happiness Happens Today. It's not tomorrow, not, a year from now, but it happens today, and it's within our power. So can you tell us a little bit about your program, just in case someone's, interested in joining?
Absolutely.
And I think everyone should kind of give themselves that opportunity to, to work with someone who's had that experience and who's helping others, because it really makes a huge difference when you work with someone who's even, like, 10 steps ahead of you in a certain area, right? And it makes such a huge difference. So I'd love to hear about your program.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll be honest, I don't have a landing page for it yet. I don't have any of the fancy marketing, this, that, or whatever. I just have this incredible mastermind in space that I know is going to be life-changing. And I actually haven't even announced it anywhere else yet, to be honest. This is the first time I'm announcing it. So I guess the best place to start is I really just wanted to highlight the name of it. Happiness Happens Today. For me, I define happiness by a very solid sense of inner peace. And so when I use the word happiness, it's not, happy, happy, happy 24/7. It's this relationship with yourself that you could have never, ever, ever imagined possible. So essentially, this program is designed over the course of 6 months to really help you get in tune with yourself, to tap into your intuition that is always there, because we all have that intuition. It's just clouded by all of these shoulds. And ultimately, we will work through shifting your mindset, shifting your ways of thinking, breaking old patterns, old beliefs, and really integrating a strong gratitude practice into the mix. At the same time, we're going to be addressing, those deep-rooted beliefs and deep-rooted fears, identifying areas of your life that you want to change, and making action towards that change, and really making, taking the steps towards that change, and learning the tools to empower yourself, and learning the tools to shift your mindset, so that when something comes up and you feel stuck, you're not stuck in that feeling for 2 weeks. Maybe you're only stuck in it for 1 day. You know what I mean? And the biggest thing is the ongoing support and the group community, because I think that the group community is such an important aspect. The support that you receive from other people is just, it's paramount, like you can't even compare. So ultimately you end up in this space of being very excited for your day ahead, very excited for your life, very at peace with your past, at peace internally, and looking forward to the future, more fulfilled in your life, more fulfilled in your business, and confident in your passion, confident in your purpose, and confident in what you're doing in your life. And really being able to identify those limiting beliefs and turning them into empowering stories and thoughts, so you can ultimately take responsibility for your feelings. You can take responsibility for your mind, your thoughts, and your reactions in the most empowering way. So it's it's 6 months. And it's group coaching. So it's 2 group coaching sessions per month. And every single month there's a one-on-one session as well. And 24/7 Voxer support. So yeah.
That's a fabulous program. It sounds
Thank
fabulous,
you.
honestly speaking, because you have that group coaching aspect, like you said, the community, the support, the collective wisdom, right? You also learn from what others experience and what others are talking about, right? And then you have that one-on-one support as well. I love that. I really love that.
Thank
So
you.
when are you launching this program? Is it happening anytime soon?
It's actually so funny that you asked that. So we were talking before we went, before you and I went live, and I'm taking applications as of now for the program. I haven't officially launched it. You'll see nothing about it on my Instagram, but I'm really launching this one from a heart-centered place, in a way that is aligned, because anyways, that's pretty much it. So there is no official start to the launch date, which might seem kind of backwards to a lot of people, but it will officially launch next week. So I guess this is like the pre-launch, if you will.
I love that. No, I love that. So and of course I've put your Instagram handle on the screen.
Yes.
And absolutely, I think people will find more information about your program from your Instagram.
100%.
Yeah.
And if anyone has any questions or wants to learn more, you can send me a message through Instagram. That's amazing. But you can also send me an email. It's hello@simonanicole.com. And I absolutely will get back to you super, super quick with information. We can hop on a call. We can chat. Whatever kind of support you're needing. I'm excited. I'm very excited. I think this is going to be an incredible community, and I know that it's going to be life-changing. So
I'm certain of that. I'm certain.
Thank you.
Because you are coming, you're walking the talk, and you're basically, you've come from a place where you've gone through experiences. So obviously you're not just talking through your hat, right?
That's exactly it.
Right, you've been through it all, so that is so important, right? So I would, I don't want to make this too long, and I don't want to keep you too long either, because I know you have to prepare for your launch, and I'm sure you have a lot to do. I really love the fact that you actually took this and you came on.
Thank you so much.
It's absolutely my pleasure, and it's such an honor to have you as my first guest on my page. So
I'm honored.
And viewers, and anyone who's still online, Suzanne, Kirsty, thank you so much for being here. And if anybody is watching the replay, maybe Simona, did you want to share your website or something? Maybe we can put it in the comments.
Yes, absolutely. I can't seem to put anything in the comments where through here, but I'll go in
maybe
afterwards.
Once it's done. Yeah, once the live is done, I think you could go and put it in. Or maybe if you can send it to me, I might be able to edit the description and put the website into the description.
Perfect. And if anyone who's watching the replay has any questions, just drop them in here, and feel free to tag me, and I'm so happy to respond if you have any questions at all. So,
absolutely. Thank you so much. That is very, very generous of you to still come back on and answer questions.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Simona. And all I can do right now is wish you the absolute best with your launch, because I know so many people will get that support that they really need. And we all need that support, but we don't often realize. So even if even if you don't have a question, just talk to Simona and see, maybe, if you've had any doubts about whether you should reach out to somebody for support or not. Sometimes it's just good enough to, talk to somebody who's experienced and who knows, and she would be able to tell you if you would be a good fit for the program. And
absolutely. Help, right? I only have 5 spots. That's it.
Oh,
I'm very selective with this program because
right,
the
right.
integrity of the group is very important to me. So it's only 5 spots. So if you are interested, send me a message because I know they're going to go.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Simona, again.
Thanks, Tony.
And I will see you around.
100%. I can't wait.
And and thank you, Suzanne and Kirsty and everyone else watching the replay. I'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for being here today. I hope these words have brought you inspiration, insight, and a bit more happiness. Please leave a comment or a review if this episode resonates with you. I would be so grateful. Until next time, remember that happiness happens when you're least expecting it.